This is a video I've been thinking about for a long time. Today is the perfect day for it. I'm gonna go through the full spec on my CAAD13. This bike right here. I really didn't expect the video I made about this to sort of catch the way it did. I thought this would be one of those things that only I care about. Seems like some other people were passionate about sort of that mid-price point race bike. The reason today is a perfect day for it, doing a hill climb event. As I've got a new race bike for this season, my Hosking, which I'm gonna do a video about coming up. This is sort of the ramp up to it. So since I have that bike, the CAAD13 has kind of become my lightweight weight weenie bike, weirdly. And we've got a local hill climb event in town. I used to do most of my intervals on this hill. Had to come out and give that a go. Just warming up right now on an adjacent version of the climb. Pretty beautiful out here. Yeah, we're gonna do the hill climb and then I will run through all the parts on this build and weigh it at the end, see where we land.
I'm not much like yourself. 21 or not much done. There's nothing to do. Let's go, talk our things back from the past. When we thought the love was gonna last, and I thought you harmless. We spent some time looking for dreams, and it's for you to use my love. But I don't care about your
Thank you.
We've come too far to turn back. Take a chance with me. I won't pretend to have the answer. I just want to say these words now and that is.
I'm up here at the top of the climb, the tip top. Good race. Power was about what I thought, about 340, 350 for like 7 minutes to the top, and then a little descent into the finish that I wasn't fully anticipating. A turn into a parking lot at the end, so I think I scrubbed a couple seconds there. But Tim Rugg from Automatic Racing beat me by like 15-20 seconds. I was right on par at 7 minutes and 55 seconds with a bunch of other guys. But as promised, full build spec. So aluminum frame, CAAD13. The 13 is a weird one. Rim brake 13 also, so super weird. Little bit of a rare bird. I bought this whole thing complete in 2020 for about $1,200, $1,300 with 105, and then the things I've upgraded since then. These bars are prime bars. They're alloy. They're not that light, but basically my build philosophy on this was anything where aero matters, I would go aero unless I could save a ton of weight. These are narrow. They're also the first thing to hit the ground, so I didn't want to invest a bunch of money in something that at the time was my crit bike into the part that's going to touch the ground first. So these are 38 prime bars. They, at the time, were like the only narrow aero aluminum bars on the market, and I think they were only about $50. I also, at some point, switched the 105 derailleur for an Ultegra derailleur. This is Ultegra mechanical 11-speed, which I think is maybe like peak group set in terms of value, shift quality, weight. The sort of balancing of all three. Shift's amazing, doesn't weigh anything, not super expensive. So I've got this Bontrager direct mount brake on the front. See if we can see it here. So this direct mount Bontrager brake is a little bit lighter than the stock 105. I've only got one in front because of how the cable routes right here. It actually wouldn't fit in the back, so I've still got the stock 105 in the back. My big spend on this build is right here. Cannondale SI crank set. I've always thought these looked cool, and I like the idea of a like mostly aluminum build. These things are super lightweight, 52-36, so it's kind of the perfect gear ratio. I got a good low climbing gear when I want it, since this is now kind of almost more of a hill climb bike, but still 5211 is enough to get around, like even in most crits and stuff. Chinese wheels, which I've already made a video about. If you're curious, I think at the time these were some of the best wheels on the market. These are the ICANN Aero 50. I would say that at this point, they're a little narrow. They measure about 25, 26 external. little bit narrow, but a great value still, extremely light for the money. I think I paid about $600-700 for those, and they weigh like 1,300 grams. So tough to beat that. Oh, two more little weight savings I did. eBay seat post. I'll post the link for where I got this, but it's a Chinese OEM. This is the same frame basically as a Cannondale Super 6, so same seat post. So this is an aftermarket seat post that a Chinese carbon company makes, and unbranded, maybe sketchy, but seat post is not one of the things that's going to hit the ground. So I felt pretty good about this. I'm also only 60 kilos, so if the seat post is going to hold anybody, it's going to hold me. And then I have this Q Riot saddle. You've probably seen these. They make a 3D printed top version of this, which I also have. This one is basically a straight dupe of a Specialized power saddle. I'm going to do a whole video about this saddle, but this saddle only weighs about 60 grams and costs about $50 at the time I bought it. It's got a little more scoop than I like, but especially for a hill climb bike, it does the job. So really good balance of value and performance, I think. And that's kind of what I like about aluminum bikes, is you can get something that performs really well and not totally break the bank. And it's a little bit more resilient. I got a little bit of a dent right here, and on a carbon bike that would have maybe been trashing it, maybe been a carbon repair. It's, you know, $400 or $500. I'm just running it. It's fine. This thing is bomb proof. When I get home, I will weigh this thing and we'll see where all of those parts get me. But yeah, I was trying to sort of err on the side of weight, but not make any huge sacrifices in terms of aerodynamics, and get a really balanced all-around bike. Okay, back home, moment of truth. I'm gonna weigh this thing. I did go ahead and take the pedals off just because most bike weights are posted without pedals because they're sold without pedals. So if you look up what a bike weighs spec off the shelf, it's gonna be no pedals. Also, I'm putting those pedals back on my main bike. They're Asiomas. That's my power meter. So they had to come off anyway. I am not taking off the Wahoo mount or the cages because I'm lazy, because they're staying on this bike. So let's see. Moment of truth here. Zero out the scales. So I believe the UCI weight limit is right at 15. I think I could probably get this thing under the UCI weight limit just by switching out these alloy bars. Once again, I was kind of trying to balance durability, lightness, cost effectiveness, aero all together. So I think this is a pretty solid package. The next bike I'm gonna go over is my race bike from this year, my Hosking. It is also an aluminum bike, but I went totally different direction with this build. I didn't go as much on the side of lightweight. I went more toward the side of aero and robustness and really just crit racing. So this is kind of an all-arounder training bike, my B bike, travel bike, trainer bike. The other one is like for racing, mostly on the flats, mostly going fast. So yeah, kind of two ends of aluminum bikes. Let me know if there's any other components you want to hear more about. I think I am going to do a full video on this saddle because I think it's such a good deal and such a good saddle that it warrants that. But I've also got these Planet Bike cages. They're super duper light. Those things are awesome. Yeah, let me know if there's anything else you think or feel about the CAAD13 budget super bike build. Appreciate it. See you later.